Hello, YouTube land. I am back from vacation. Although, in many ways, I suppose vacation is subjective. We drove up Thursday. We stayed at my parents' house in Maine. Big damn glass of water because it's really hot. Got there surprisingly early Thursday. We actually got a pretty decent jump on the day, comparatively speaking to our track record. So we actually got to Portland 3-4 o'clock instead of the usual pushing 6. Friday, my dad, my husband, and I went out for breakfast and went to a few other places, including Kettle Cove Beach, Fort Williams Park. And then at that point, the day basically went to hell. The history between my dad and I is, I would have to equate it to Chernobyl-esque kind of a thing. I'm inventing a bit of English to make this make sense. There is a pond of information shared between he and I related to mutual experience and history involving my mother, not my mom, Lynn, my mother, the demon. That means when he and I spend any significant period of time together, and by significant I'm saying more than 3 hours in the same space, we're gonna get into it. It's not WWE. I mean, we don't throw punches, although I have in the past. But suffice to say, we'd been together several hours at that point that day, and it just didn't end well. At the end of which, apparently my dad met my mom after work, and it was told to her his side of what happened. I was happy to give her my side of it, but she said, look, it doesn't matter. This is not the way you start a vacation. This is not happy and peaceful. Let's just everyone hit reset and move on. Which, it's a unique gift that my mom has, because very few people, not even my dad, have the capacity to really get in my face and go, seriously? Shut it down. My mom, in her oh so adorable fashion, because my mom, while being my mom, who I respect as my mom, is still dimensionally, in 3D, smaller than me. She's a few inches shorter than I am. We're about equal dimension other than that. But she'll just look me dead in the eye and go, seriously? Stop. And that's the end of it. There's something about certain mom tones. Some dads I've seen do this, not mine. But in general, I find it's a mom thing. Moms have the ability to look their kids in the eye, or their kids' friends, and go, no. And that's just the end of the universe. It goes no further. So my mom is one of the few who has that gift, and she's probably the only person, aside from my husband maybe, who I'm willing to allow that kind of treatment from. Because there is part of my subconscious, at the very least, that realizes they're doing that out of an honest effort to be in my best interest. It's not just, self-preservation. They don't want to be in a fight. They don't want to be upset or angry or yelling. But they don't want me to have to go through it either. Whereas my dad is more than happy to continually engage in a fight. At least that's been my experience. So Mom shut that down. Saturday was beach day, and it was good. Sam was very, very happy with that. Something about going to the beach brings about this innocent exuberance in him. I think as a kid, he just got way too happy playing in the sand and the water and never really had a bad beach experience, which I had quite the opposite most of the time. So whenever I take him to the beach, or whenever he goes to the beach, really, he's especially happy when he gets to go with me. But whenever he goes to the beach, he's just, oh my God, like he's a 5-year-old. He's just, it's genuine joy. Unfortunately, he decided to be a bit stubborn in a similarly juvenistic way about getting help putting on his sunblock, which I had brought with us, which was an SPF 50 UVA UVB waterproof sport sunblock. Because if I'm going to cover the bases, I'm going to cover them all, and I'm going to do it damn well. So I put it on. I was reapplying to myself periodically because I actually did go in the water. I actually did swim. We went to the same place we went the last time we went with my parents, which is a place called Tassel Top in Raymond. About a 45-minute drive. And it was a great day, except for later that night when Sam and I realized we'd both gotten a bit of a lobstering. Which, if you're not familiar with the term, I'm sure you can Google it. Obviously, Sam is a bit more sensitive. He doesn't handle sunburn well. In fact, the reason he wore sunblock this time is because the last time I told him he needed to wear it, he flatly refused and suffered the consequence. So after that, he started realizing, if I tell you you absolutely need to do it, I'm not screwing around. Unfortunately, he didn't accept my help for putting it on, except for on his, back, which obviously he needs help with. But even then, he was being independent, I guess is the polite way of saying it. But the day was good. Breakfast at a local place in Raymond called Shoots, then Tassel Top, then thrift shopping, which made everyone except me happy, because thrifting is a big passion in my family, for anyone that isn't me. Saturday night we went to Super Great Wall Chinese Buffet in South Portland, which is one of Sam's favorite places. My parents took us because they wanted to give Sam a birthday present, and they didn't know what to get him, so they fed him. That works on several levels. Sunday was the Clam Festival. It was a slow morning in the sense of how fast we got out the door because I made breakfast. And part of me making breakfast, the whole point was that my mom has a popover pan, like an actual pan designed for popovers. And I thought, okay, well, their oven is a bit Bon Jacks. I mean, the temperature is kind of, but I thought I'd try it. Well, they came out a lot denser than really muffins are supposed to come out. So for popovers, they were almost like stones, culinarily speaking. But I was able to have one. My mom tried one. Dad said he actually was able to use them for a different type of breakfast thing that he does for himself. So the leftovers in my family never go to waste. They're just, oh, I can use that in the next meal as filler. I also made, the big thing about that morning was the popovers, but the secondary big thing was I made an apple compote reduction, where I took about 3/4 of a cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of lemon, 6 randomly assorted apples from the produce bin in my dad's fridge, probably Fuji, maybe Gala or Empire. They weren't big, they weren't Red Delicious, and I don't like Granny Smith, so I didn't use those. About 6 of them, peeled, chopped, thrown in a pot with 1 stick, one of those 2-inch sticks of cinnamon. Threw it all in the pot and let it slow cook for probably like an hour or so, and then I kicked up the heat to really reduce it. And that was apparently the hit of the morning. The scrambled eggs I made were also enjoyed, but Mom said her favorite thing was the fruit reduction. So I'm thinking at Christmas I might make her a jar. Just of the very basic cinnamon apple kind of reduction sort of a thing. But I think I'll try and make her a batch with sweet and low, because my parents are diabetic, so I have to be really careful about what culinary things I bring to surprise them with, because it could cause a problem, a real one, fast. So Sunday was kind of a slow morning. Oh God, my back is still killing me from everything I did. And we spent a couple hours at the clam festival as it was closing up on day 3, which, when you go to the last day of a festival as they're closing, there's not really that much going on, but a third of the reason we went was for the food. And by the time we got there, everyone was starting to sell off their surplus. So, you know, the things we wanted were $2, $3, $4 off, half off, you know, 2 for $1 drinks. It was a good time to go. And then Sunday night, we went to Sebago Brewing Company, the restaurant in South Portland. Actually, that reminds me, I've got a bunch of reviews to catch up on Yelp. I've been posting pictures of everywhere I ate to remind myself of the meals so that I can type them up when I get home. I've been home for 3 days. I completely forgot. Oh my God, I feel stupid. I've been so busy. Monday was our catch-up day, Sam and I, and we got to the things that the incident with my dad prevented on Friday. One of which was a place called the Lobster Shack in Cape Elizabeth, Maine, which, if you're in the area and you've never been, A, you're a fool, B, go now. They open at 11. They are right on the water. They have amazingly fresh food, which I don't know if this is part of their own ad campaign or something I heard somewhere, but it's fresh from the water seafood, prepared fresh at a place on the water where the food just came from, or something to that effect. But it's amazing. You have to go. It's a drive from Portland. It's a drive, but totally worth it if you're an ardent foodie like I am. And the line gets long. Out the door, long. 20, 30 people or more. They open at 11. Get there early. And Monday night, I finally had a few hours to just kind of sit and vegetate, because the basic dichotomy between Sam and I is that a vacation means you get to go somewhere new and do a whole bunch of stuff you haven't done, or go back somewhere you've been and do a whole bunch of stuff you couldn't get to in the first visit, or second visit, or third visit. And that's a fine approach for some places. I mean, if I go somewhere really exotic, like England, or Barbados, or Jamaica, or Australia, okay, fine. Yes, it's going to be of a trip. When I'm visiting my parents, I just want to vegetate on the couch in front of the big screen because my parents have cable and HBO. We don't even have cable. And I don't have to pay for sleeping there, or cable, or premium channels, or air conditioning. My aunt's cat lives in the house, which means I don't have to go without feline interaction. And that cat is hyper affectionate. She loves it when Sam and I visit. So for me, a vacation, at least at my parents' house, is the epitome of I just want to be a vegetable. But all in all, it was good. I did lobster a bit myself, but I think between previous experience and natural regenerative capacity, after the second day, I wasn't even in pain. You know, it didn't affect my sleep. It wasn't hurting when I go out in the day, and now it's been almost a week, and I'm not even peeling. So I must have walked that fine borderline of burn right before you do significant enough damage where your skin goes, ah, and runs away from you in a hurry. Which is good, because I didn't feel like molting. With hair this long now, do you see this? I'm shedding about as bad as our cat. Like, I can't even say worse than, because she sheds a lot. She's a cat, and it's summer. But oh my God. And this morning I made Sam some blueberry jam, and I'm hoping tomorrow maybe I might get around to making some strawberry for myself. I love strawberry. And that fresh strawberry compote I made myself a while back, oh, so good, it's gone. Alright, that's enough rambling about our vacation. I'll be back another time, another day.